This video is to show you how to fill out this fold-free flip-flop foldable. Say that 5 times fast. So there are times when we have to switch the inequality symbol, and I like to call it flip-flop to help you remember. So we're going to fill in this foldable, and if you'd like to make it colorful, then you can get some markers or colored pencils. You can do some of this in pencil if you want to. If you'd like to decorate your flip-flops after you're finished, you're welcome to, but that's not a requirement. You just need to have these notes taken. So first of all, up here, we're going to say that we need to flip-flop the inequality sign when. So there are 2 times that we talked about in class today when we have to flip-flop the inequality sign. So one of those times is when you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number. So on this left side flip-flop, I want you to put multiplying or dividing by a negative number. So for example, if you have an inequality like negative 5x is greater than 15, then to solve this inequality, we're going to have to divide both sides by negative 5 to get the x by itself. So when I divide by 5 on the left and divide by 5 on the right, this is one of those times when I'm multiplying or dividing by a negative number. And when I do that, I know that my inequality symbol needs to be switched in the opposite direction. So instead of greater than, it becomes less than. And I'm going to go ahead and write that inequality symbol going in the other direction as soon as I realize I'm multiplying or dividing by a negative number, so I don't forget later on. So everything about the rest of solving this inequality stays the same. So in this case, I'm dividing negative 5 by negative 5. So what I have on the left is x. What I have on the right is negative 15 divided by 15 divided by negative 5, which is negative 3. So the solution is not x is greater than negative 3. It's x is less than negative 3 because we had to switch the sign because we're dividing by a negative number. So an example of multiplying by a negative number would look like this. If you had something like x divided by negative 2 is less than or equal to 4, then to solve that inequality, we need to multiply both of those sides by negative 2. So I'm going to show that I'm multiplying by negative 2 on the left. I'm showing that I multiply by negative 2 on the right. So since I'm multiplying by a negative number, I'm going to go ahead and switch that sign. And on the left, I'll have x, and on the right, I'll have negative 8. So the solution to that inequality is x is greater than or equal to negative 8. So the other time when we need to switch the inequality sign or flip-flop it is when switching what is on either side of the inequality symbol. So what I mean by that is an example like 5 is greater than 3. We know that's true. 5 is greater than 3. But if we switch the numbers to the opposite sides, and 3 goes to the left, 5 goes to the right, then if we kept the inequality symbol the same, that would mean that 3 is greater than 5, and we know that's not true. So when you switch what's on the left to the right and vice versa, you have to switch that inequality symbol. So instead of 3 is greater than 5, we change that to 3 is less than 5. We flip-flop the inequality sign. So one more example for that, which is more common for what you will see when you're solving inequalities, is Sometimes you end up with something like -4 is less than or equal to x. And a lot of people have trouble graphing this because they get mixed up with which direction the arrow should point when you're graphing the solution. So they like to have the variable always be on the left-hand side, and in order to do that, we're going to put x to the left, and we're going to put -4 to the right. So x and -4. But if I do that, that means that I'm going to have to also flip-flop the inequality sign. So instead of less than or equal to, we're going to have greater than or equal to. So if -4 is less than or equal to x, then that means that x has to be equal to or greater than -4. That's it. Put it on the next available right-hand page where you have nothing on the left-hand page, because we're going to take notes there later.